Hey guys, it's Cody with Denver 3D Printing. I got a mess of hot ends up here. Just wanted to go through kind of some differences in hot ends and why this Revo that just came out with E3D is just amazing. So we have a couple of different of these Revos. This is the Revo, basically the V6. Comes with the fan. It's just like you might expect any V6 to come with, but this end is a lot different, and we're going to get to that. Up until now, you might recognize something like this, and you might recognize kind of this setup here. This is kind of the Creality setup. This is the Creality Ender heat block sink, whatever. The regular E3D V6s just kind of had a threaded one of these. The big difference was on the E3Ds. I don't have an E3D heat break up here. The Capricorn tube or the PTF tube did not go all the way down to, well, the nozzle, which is a very dumb design. This is an all-metal heat break for the E3Ds. Does help quite a bit, but you notice something here? I just took this off. The nozzle's still in the heat block. There's that. Wait, can't that leak? I'm sure some of you have come across a leak. Unless you have just a really good seal on this little tiny bit of hose, meaning you got to get a pretty high quality nozzle, you got to get a pretty high quality heat break for those things to mount up and mate, so that way you don't get plastic oozing out of everything and causing problems. So E3D is not the first one that's done this. I actually have another one here from this guy here. This is from my Craftbot. They did a fairly good job with the hot end, aside from the nozzle is incredibly hard to change, and their fan just absorbs plastic and puts it up against all the hot block and stuff, and it's awful. But their system is something like this. So you have the nozzle here that's threaded all the way up, almost like a volcano system. And then it screws, this is the heat break, and it screws into there. So you don't have a split system inside of the nozzle, or inside of the hot end, which is great. But like I said, it's really a pain in the butt to unthread this whole long giant nozzle with extra fine threads all the way through the heat break, and you got to do it when it's hot, otherwise it doesn't work. Well, the Revo, this is the Prusa edition Revo, is really super nice because it literally just unscrews right here. And yes, it's a fairly long thread, but that's it. Do you notice something here? It's probably the best thing ever. So, one thing to point out, this heat break is actually the same from the Revo to the Hemera, the non-Revo Hemera. And you could almost get that to go in there. But what you can do is you can actually use this nozzle if you get one of these heat blocks. The downside is it won't lock into place. So this thing is held in there with the spring on both sides. The hot block's in there, and it clips into the cold side of it. But this system really has revolutionized 3D printing. Probably the best upgrade since, I don't know, maybe the BL Touch came out. I used a lot of E3D V6s. I've used some of their clones, which I've learned many lessons on. You can see that just screws on there. They got a couple of different nozzle sizes. Here is the Quality Edition Revo, which is also the exact same setup. So now all of my printers, once I finish updating them all, will all be on the same nozzle system. I can go from one to another. There's that same exact nozzle, same setup, just kind of a flat backside, and instead of the channel for locking it in, you just have the two little screws that mount right up to the E3 or right up to the Quality stuff. Would work on any of these 3D printers that have the same, thread spacing as the Quality, or bolt spacing, I guess, on there. You can get the Chimera in a couple of different ways. One is this little upgrade kit. If you already have a Chimera and you just want to upgrade it, here you go. This is a fairly cheap way to do so. You basically just reuse all of your guts. This is why I recommend this direct drive over pretty much anything else, because it's got a pretty tight filament path in there. I print a lot of TPU out of this. It's pretty good stuff. There's your special fan. But anyways, this is just a really good all-around system. The Chimera that comes with the motor actually comes with an extra small motor, which is actually really kind of cool. It basically is a really small motor. I don't have one here. Hang on one second. I got them. Don't worry about that. So this is the Chimera Extra Small. Feature packed, just like everything else. But you get a really small stepper motor on there, comparative to the standard size one, which I actually ended up having to modify some of my files. I do have a linear rail upgrade kit for the Chimera, and the ender on my website that you can purchase. But yeah, this is a very good setup. I strongly recommend everybody to jump on this bandwagon. Way better than any of the Slice Engineering stuff that I've ever seen. Actually, I'm not really a fan of the Slice Engineering stuff. Their sliding thermistors can't be as accurate as they claim they are. But this, your thermostat or your thermistor is literally built right into the heater core. That's right, you have a heater core. Something else. Those heater cores are replaceable. So right here you get yourself a little heater core. If you were to do something, you literally can just exchange out your heater core and you're good to go. But yeah, that's Cody with Denver 3D Printing. I think that's about all I got to say on this subject.